Hey guys, so let's talk about teams, and more specifically software teams, IT teams, development teams, and something that happened to me just not that long ago actually, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, and then we will end with some type of insight, I hope, and hopefully it will be useful to you. So a little while back, the company that I work for released one of its new flagship features, which was an integration to the banking systems here in Sweden. It was pretty major, let's just say it was a pretty important feature. It was one of the things that kind of made the company really, let's just say it was a big deal for the company. And we had wired everything up and we pushed everything out. It went live, and 20 seconds, something like that, into the release, there was a problem of some sort. Now, it was not a critical problem. It wasn't one of those, oh no, this is a failure type of problems, but there was an issue. And what basically happened as we stood there celebrating with champagne and toasting and, all that good stuff, we had our CTO basically just kind of took the developers to the side and said, hey, we have this issue, guys. This is what's happening. We need to solve it quickly. And so this is, to give you a bit of context, the team and the people who've been working here, they have known each other for, basically my second week or something like that. And most of them haven't been there all that long. So what happens is that we all go together, get an understanding of, we come together, we get an understanding of what the issue is, everybody's on board, and we split into teams. Like, this is us. Now remember, this is a startup. We have no processes, we have no prior discussions of how to handle things in a crisis situation. There's nothing. But without anybody even having a structure or guideline or anything like that as to how to behave in such a situation as this, we pair up two and two, and we sit down at our different workstations and start solving the problem from different angles. We started moving immediately this sounds corny, but it's a well-oiled machine. And what's interesting is that you actually find that, or rather I found that we solved the issue very, very quickly. We found a few small issues. We addressed the issues from different angles, and we had a dialogue going between us all. Like, we synchronized using Slack, which is a very, very nice chatting application. And the problem was solved much faster than anybody expected. And afterwards we had a discussion about it, and we were amazed as how well our team actually worked together without us even talking about it. We had, as I said, there was no process, that we just kind of naturally did it. And so what I wanted to talk to you about is that I want to tell you what I think happened. So one of the fundamental values that the company has is that we go hard for office culture, making sure that everybody is a good fit into the team. And we have a ping pong table. And you're not going to believe this, but I honestly believe that that's the main reason why this worked so well. And why is that? Why is ping pong so magical? Well, has nothing to do, especially with ping pong, to do. It has to do with the fact, with the concept that our team and the members in our team genuinely care about each other. They walk around and greet each other, and they have lunch. We have lunch together. Like, we do all of these things. And I actually, unfortunately, one of our designer has announced not that long ago that he's resigning out of necessity. That's nothing, no issue really, anything like that. But that's outside of my discussion here. But he basically conveyed that to him, the people working at this company is like an extended family, and that's what I argue happened. I argue that what happened was that we could move as a single unit and effectively solve a crisis, if you will, for the company. This was a major piece of like functionality that was being released, and there was an issue, and we had no problems whatsoever figuring out what the issue was, working as a team. We didn't need any direction or any leadership whatsoever. We just sat down and worked like autonomously, independently of each other, and basically we synchronized and communicated as effectively as humanly possible. And I actually said to my boss after, like, when we kind of had a retrospective and discussed like what happened, I said the way that we handle this issue, in my opinion, there are companies out there who are paying hundreds of thousands in for even achieving a small portion of that. That's the ideal case, that you have people that take such ownership and work so well together that you don't even need to lead them. They solve the problem as soon as it arrives. No discussion, they just do it, and they do it quickly and efficiently. And that's why the ping pong table is so important. That's why the joint lunch, going out to lunch with your colleagues, is so important. That's why it's so important when you're hiring people that you're hiring someone who not only can do the job, but is a good office culture fit. Now, this may be obvious to a lot of people, and what I'm really trying to say here is that if you think about people as a resource that is basically a cog in a machinery, which, in a way they are, but if you stop at that concept, if you stop thinking about things, if you think of things in basically from the numbers perspective, you're just putting somebody into the environment that has the knowledge to do the job, you will never get to this point. You will never get to a point where you get more out of your team than you could possibly have otherwise. Think of it this way: it's a concept that I was introduced to by a friend of mine. He said that think of it as an anthill or ants. Now, an ant in of itself it's an amazing creature. But the thing is that ants have one of the most sophisticated civilizations on the planet. They work as a massive joint force, and they do so even though the ants themselves have very basic functionalities. They are not all that sophisticated. The ant itself is not sophisticated, but the way that the ants work together, the complexity of the system as a whole is higher than each individual component. And that's what I'm trying to say here. We could achieve something that was pretty amazing, if you ask me, just because we had all these basic small little things in our everyday life. We didn't need a resort. We didn't need some person to come in from outside and teach us about teamwork. None of that mattered. All we actually needed was to feel comfortable with each other, to have that personal chemistry between people. And you build that personal chemistry with ping pong tables. Well, not just ping pong tables, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. With these activities, going to after work, enjoying each other's company. And I honestly believe that the biggest contribution a manager or whoever is managing the development teams can do is to make sure that you pay close attention to what type of people do you have in your company, the team, who are they? Hire people based not just on merits, but on how good the personal chemistry is going to be between these people. Make sure that you have things that very naturally build a little. Think of it as an in-house activity. For us, it's ping pong. Everybody in my office plays ping pong. We love it, and we enjoy ourselves a lot from just doing that. So try to find these little things which naturally creates hubs for people to gather around and enjoy each other's company. And it has to be something small that happens on a daily basis, because trust me, if you have people working in a massive super company where literally they just go into their own cubicle every day and then you think you're going to build some type of team spirit by having a holiday dinner or something like that once or twice a year. You're kidding yourself. People don't build meaningful connections with each other once or twice a year. They do it every day.